So to make the hair, you get a big strand of yellow in your fairy book. Some of it you may want to use because there's a particular technique of how to make her little skirt, and for this you might use either a yellow or a blue, but if you want to use all of this, you can then, of course. And the way to do this is by imagining that this is going to be the pigtails on either side, and then the top is going to be like a wig that needs to fit the head. So what I've done is I usually lay it down on my, this might be best really close up, let me just do this, and so I lay it down on my mat, and then I'm splitting one end into 3 equal parts here, so it looks a little bit like that, and then I start plaiting. Now it's quite difficult to plait, as most people will probably have a resistance at the other end, so you're kind of plaiting without anybody holding on at the other end. If that is an issue, then just get somebody to hold the other end. But we do want it to be nice and loose here over the top, so just make it as neat as you can without pulling the top flat, and I'm just literally plaiting it so that it makes a nice neat little plait on that one side. Yeah, and it's really satisfying to plait her hair. So once you get to the fizzly ends, you can now tie them off, and you could just use a little bit of the blue tops. It doesn't pop open, so you don't have to worry so much about letting go of that. And then if you want to use a different color wool, use the blue just to keep in the colorway, and just put a knot on there like that. And you can put another one on, could tie a little ribbon if you want, or you can put a ribbon on, whatever takes your fancy. But if you want to use what you've got in the box, just use a little bit of blue. And I quite like it when these are cut, because it sort of distincts it. Oh my god, these scissors are so rubbish. I've cut too much wire with them. So I've made one little piggy tail, and then you go to the other side and you repeat that, basically always leaving sort of the top of the head. Right, so I'm plaiting the other side of this hairdo now. There we go. I seem to have one really long strand there and one really short one, but that's okay. Just make do with what you've got, and then let's tie that up as well. There. And then I cut that end of the plait short as well, but I'll probably use different scissors, not these horrible sticky ones that I've used for pipe cleaners and whatnot way too often. So these are actually brilliant scissors. We sell them now. They're little embroidery scissors, and yeah, we really love them. They're nice and sharp. There we go. I haven't cut any wire with that yet. So I've got a little, literally a little wig there for my fairy, ready to put on. And to put it on, you need your fairy. Obviously, your fairy will look slightly more ready than mine, but you fit the hair onto her head. Just make sure that I've got the face at the front, and you might have to sort of squish it down and pull it down a little bit, and then spread out the fibers so that they cover the head. And then the first thing you're going to do is you're going to needle felt along the back of the head to give her almost sort of like a middle parting across the back, and in that way you're fitting the hair onto the head, and then you're repeating that at the front as well. There, so I'm stabbing it on in the middle, and then the only other place you need to stab it on well is by the side of her pigtails, and to do that you might have to pull it down a bit and then stab into, always try and stab into the plaited crease rather than into the hair itself, because then you don't get, the hair stays nice and smooth. And then you pull it down the other side as well and felt it on that end as well. And that's basically a really quick, simple technique of how to make the hair of the fairy. And obviously you'll be felting this a little bit more, and then you've got a little face with pigtails on either side. Really easy to make.